This is a totem that is widely misunderstood. It infuriates me every time there's a totem that's widely misunderstood. For a quick example, owl totem, you got half the world knowing and remembering what the totem really stands for, which is seeing the hidden truth and actually cleansing of negativity, cleansing off evil, chasing away evil. And then you got the other half that, and it's quite shameful to say, most of them are indigenous. It's really shameful. The other half, because usually we're the ones that remember, but the other half believes that they're an omen and they're deceptive. Polar opposite of what it really stands for. One side you got a deceptive omen, the other side you got something that sees the hidden truth and cleanses of negativity. Come on. How do you get that wrong? I mean, it's people, I'll tell you how, it's people who are getting, well, there's two different issues here. There's people of light energy, and I never say light and dark is good or bad. I mean it as literally sun, moon, day, night type. People of light energy, not understanding the totem and fearing the worst, or people that are right out sinister, and the totem is a protector, and it's fighting against, guess what? Them. They're the evil. And they're saying, oh, it's bad luck, oh, it's whatever, it's this, it's that. Not unless you're evil. I mean, the only time that it would ever bring wrath at you is if you're fucking evil. And with Muntjac, that's absolutely the case. That's exactly what it is. It's a dark protector. Trying to do this video when it's getting dusk also pisses me off because I can never seem to get good timing. Back to this horrid lighting, I'm sorry. Muntjac's totemic meaning is that it's the guardian and a protector of the forest. Basically, they guard the edges of the forest to try and fight off any ill intent that might come in. If something does approach, they will let out this sort of scream or yell or, roar. Really, to me, it sounds more like a roar than it does a bark. It sounds like a sort of a growling roar. And they'll let that out to try and, from a distance, to try and wound the enemy. We're talking about magic, the magic of the totem. Okay, so we're taking what it naturally does when it senses a threat. It makes that barking noise, right? But that sound has the ability to go off like a bomb and send shockwaves, for quite a long distance. It doesn't just cleanse the forest of negativity, it goes a step further than that and actually penetrates the negativity. Anything of ill intent, it just penetrates it and it attacks it. It's attacking through sound, which is, something that I can understand maybe how someone who's evil could misperceive that. If you are of pure intent and you stand in front of a barking deer that's doing that, that's making that sound, you should not feel any pain or malice. But if you're of ill intent, it's going to make you cringe. It's going to at least make you cringe. And you might not understand the full effects of it until later. You might not understand, you might actually start feeling ill later. I mean, that's the pagan view on just what the bark or roar alone has the capability to do. There's a nice, fun little bedside story, little pagan bedside story that you can tell your children, that I've heard once or twice about Muntjac and its fangs. Says that if you are unworthy of crossing the forest, that they actually rip you to pieces with their fangs, and that they can see who is of pure intent as who is of ill intent, not only with their eyes, but they've got a third eye as well. It's something through vision that they can see with immense visionary ability, so they never get it wrong. Okay, so if you've been bad, you know, midst the night, you're asleep and completely oblivious, perhaps. And if you've been bad, it's said that no matter where you are or what you're doing, Muntjac will find you and rip you to shreds and eat you alive. But, you know, I don't know how much of the story is actually to scare children and how much of it is real. I will say this. I don't know what they do with it afterwards, but in last resort, if they feel threatened enough, they will rip things apart with their fangs. So that's, you know, that is scientifically, that part's plausible. Okay. And they most definitely, you know, maybe they won't go looking for you necessarily, but if you cross their path, they most definitely, if you're of ill intent, they most definitely will bring you much, much, much greater wrath than you'd ever expect from something that wee and tiny. They're very powerful. Like I said, they can pain from a distance through magic. It's almost like this is a bad example, but if I were to scream, I could pain somebody with my scream had I the right magic. That's exactly what the Muntjac is doing. Okay, there's olden tales of really old and ancient ancestral magic that believes that kind of magic can exist, and that is what we believe Muntjac to do. So again, the scream, if you will, or the cry, or whatever, if you will, the howling, whatever you want to call it, that is, you know, their first defense. And only in last resort scenarios would they actually use the fangs for something. So yeah, it's said that howl has actual magic to it, and that, you know, it's something that they're going to, if they don't kill you right then and there, you know, which is typically doesn't happen, they're at least going to sort of attack you through magic and hex you in some way. So initially it may feel uncomfortable. It may want you to feel like that sound just make you want to cringe. But then later you may find out that you have, I don't know, cancer, incurable cancer. See what I'm saying? It's something that latches on to you. Muntjac don't forgive easy, and they don't trust easy. And once they find someone of ill intent, they do not care whether or not they have actively done anything. If you're selfish, if you're a narcissist, a sociopath, a heartless, you know, scum, they will latch onto that whether or not you've actually done anything to harm the forest. They don't give a fuck. If you're evil, they go after you. If you're of pure intent, they might still bark because you might be feel a little threatened. I mean, they're wild animals. But it's not going to actually affect you in any way, because they can see more than you think they can. They can tell, even if they're frightened, even if you accidentally scare them or something, they get scared. It's not going to be like that would make them bring wrath upon you. No, they judge you. They judge your soul. They look deep into your soul and judge it. And in fact, I think, I'm not certain, but I think if you're to look at the, what the fuck is that thing? What is that thing with the scales? I don't even remember. But I think that's where they got that. I do. I think they based it off of a Muntjac. What is the thing with the scales that judges your soul in, what is it, Crimes of Grindelwald? What is that? I don't know. I don't even. But anyway, I think that's where they got it from Muntjac, because that's exactly what it does. But it doesn't do this stupid fuck ass bow shit, okay? Instead, it will hex you or it will leave you be. That's what Muntjac does. Once it judges you, it's okay, do I bring you wrath or do I leave you be? They've got like almost secondary like little slits right there, you know, They've got, in the way that their horns or their antlers kind of, the way that, I mean, it's geometry wise, has some significance as well. They're said to have direct connection with the center of the universe. I mean, that's how wise they're said to be. I think that's in part to their third eye, but also I just think it's a part about the totem themselves, that energy themselves. Mother Nature doesn't give things fangs for no reason. This is basically, more or less, from scientists' perspective, seen to be, I think, a herbivore, if I'm not mistaken, a true herbivore. You know, maybe omnivore, but I really think it's, you know, they're more like tusks than they are fangs, but they basically are fangs. You see that in paganism, anything with fangs like that. It tells you a bit about its purpose. You know, this is not just something that idly cleanses and protects. This is not something that just shields something. It's a warrior and it's meant to kill. But again, it goes after what it's meant to go after. In intent. It never harms innocent things. It leaves them be. In fact, that's what it's trying to protect. The forest itself and anything innocent within the forest. So, unfortunately, a lot of Abrahamic beliefs think that it's a demon. A lot, and especially in the olden Abrahamic, like hundreds of years ago, when they were hunted to near extinction in certain areas. Now there's other areas of the world where they're still quite prevalent. But if you take Europe, they only can be found in a very select few parts of Europe, and there used to be a lot more places. So that's very sad in and of itself. There are other cultures that believe that it is an omen or just simply bad luck and misfortune. I will say that it's a totem that likes and needs to stay in its home in the forest. Even if you find something that just naturally died of natural causes, if it's bones of something, that is said to be bad luck as you remove it from the forest, because Muntjac in specific, that totem is going to get very angry normally if you remove anything of its relics from the forest and bring it home with you. It's a very unique totem in that way. Very rare circumstances, maybe if this is your main totem or something, very, very, very rare circumstances, would you be given permission to bring home even something that died of natural causes? And typically it's bad luck to come in possession of anything from Muntjac, but not because of its totemic meaning, because it's simply, you know, it doesn't forgive easy, and you're going against what it wants. It wants its relics to stay where it is in the forest, and you are forcing it to come with you without sacred permission. That's why it's bad luck, because you do something without permission. Like I said, the rare circumstances where you do have permission, it'd be fine. So I can see kind of how the bad luck misfortune thing gets turned around, kind of. Especially to kill a Muntjac is immense bad luck. So I can see how that could get twisted and warped into the actual totemic meaning, but it's not. Okay, it's direct action or reaction from your action. You know, the totem itself is just a dark protector. It protects the forest. It's a guardian of the forest. And really that is its purpose. Only way you'd ever get anything of wrath from them, like I said, is if you're of ill intent. If you're pure intent, they're going to leave you alone. They might even try to protect you.